Jay the Handyman here. Are y'all ready to learn about some computers? Heck yeah, let's start the learning. So here's a typical computer right here. And usually there's a panel on the side. You just undo 2 screws like so. Alright. And you pull the panel back and then you wiggle it and it comes off like so. Alright. Okay, so we have a power supply right here. Alright, you can see all these wires coming out of it. That's all the power wires. It's meant to be confusing, really. But here's the power supply, and you can tell it's a power supply because that's where your computer plugs into a wall. Alright, there's a light here, and then there's a switch here that I don't know what that does. Changes from 115 volts to something else. So if you're in a different country, I guess you might need that one. But just leave it on 115 if you're here in America. Alright, so let's see what else we got here. We got this fan right here. This fan is called CPU fan because it's on top of the central processing unit. And the central processing unit is connected to the motherboard, which is this big thing right here. Everything connects to the motherboard. Alright. This here is a case fan. Alright. That keeps air flowing out of the computer. Okay. Underneath this fan here, there's a like a small radiator that sits on top of the CPU, and it is to keep the CPU cool. So you got a radiator and a fan. Okay. You notice there's a watch battery here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you should be able to. That keeps power to the BIOS in your computer, which is keeps track of time and saves the settings for the computer. Up here next to the power supply, we have a drive. It is a CD-ROM drive, which is basically a box. You put it in a computer and it takes the CDs in and out. So, you know, that's how you read CDs. Every drive will have a power. This is not a power here. This is... Okay, so you got power wires, and then you got this wire here that connects to the motherboard. See how it pulled apart there. Somebody upgraded this computer. It has a totally redundant hard drive here. I guess they wanted to expand the memory of the computer as far as the programs it can hold, and you know, pictures and videos and stuff. You can see the 2 connectors there. In addition to the quick access panel on this side, we're going to have to open this side. Got 2 screws out on this side, and I don't know what's going to happen now. So, oh, look, slides back, comes off just like the other one. I don't know if you saw that, but now we got access to this side. And there we have it. Took that sucker out as advertised. Alright, whatever. You see all the power cables coming out of it? This thing powers everything. Alright, so it's got to have different kinds of power cables. Don't ask me what kind of power cables these are, but that's for the motherboard. These are universal. This one and this one pretty much power everything else besides the motherboard. Now that I get the power supply out, I should be able to get this CD drive out. So there it is. This is what it looks like brand new out of the box. It's actually a DVD multi-recorder RW, which is rewritable, which means you can take DVDs, put them in here, and write something onto them, and then you can erase it and then rewrite something onto it. That's what rewritable means. And there's the back. There's where the two plugs go, 1 and 2. Okay, so it's starting to get a little uglier now. As you can see, it is ugly. And I'm going to take some of these screws out and see what happens. Okay, this is what the central processing unit looks like. It's a big microchip with like a bunch of pins, and it goes right here in the socket. And that's what it looks like when it's installed. If you can see that. These are sticks of RAM. They're more a type of memory that goes in the computer. You just pull these white things out here and here, pull them this way, and they'll release a stick of RAM. And you can see microchips. Okay, so once again, the CPU is the brain of the computer. The motherboard, which is all the stuff around the CPU here, is like the body of the computer. It connects all the components together. Okay, so you've got everything has to go into the motherboard. And let me show you how to put in a stick of RAM. You will notice that it has a notch in it, and that needs to be lined up with these notches here. And so you put it in straight down, okay? And once you get it lined up, you just push it down until you hear it click. And when it clicks, these things on the side, those are going up and down. Okay, so when it clicks, they lock into place. So you line it up, push it straight down, and it clicks into place. And RAM is the go-between between the hard drive and the CPU. So RAM takes chunks of information that need to be processed from the hard drive, run them through the CPU, and that's how your computer works. This here is what was on top of the CPU. Now this keeps it cool, okay? This goes right on top. It acts like a radiator. And then this is kind of like in your car. You got the radiator, then you got the fan. Fan draws air through the radiator, keeping the CPU cool. CPU gets overheated, it tends to not work. Break. It's done. Kaput. Here's another fan for the case. I showed you that earlier. It just draws air through the computer. Well, I hope you learned something. I know I did. Have a great day.